Is this the right way to protest? Are the farmers also insisting on absolutely the wrong demands when they should actually be a little bit more compromising or come to the middle position instead of this extremist position? Let's take that to the guest joining us. Dr. Sunny Singh Ahluwalia is the Aam Aadmi Party representative. Remember, a lot of the focus has also come on what the Punjab government has done or not done when handling these protests emanating predominantly from Punjab. Nachiket Udupa is leader of MKSS, one of the protesting groups. Sanjay Rana is with me in the studio, political analyst, backs the BJP or the government view on this. And Yogendra Kapoor is agricultural economist. I do thank you all for your time. Let me begin with Nachiket Udupa first. A lot of questions are being asked on why the farmers, while being on the talking table, are also doing what they're doing at the borders. And the scenes are not nice. Let's just accept the scenes are ugly. They're trying to breach the barricades with heavy machinery while the center is engaging with them. Is this correct?
The fact of the matter is that the last time the protest took place, the government had promised that a committee will be formed, and the discussions and what the government is inviting the farmers now is what they had promised 2 years ago when the agitation was called off. So unfortunately, it looks like the government only calls farmers for talks when they collect at the borders. This is what it looks like, unfortunately.
But does it still justify the means? There are other people to take care of, their interests to take care of. You know what the High Court has said in Punjab and Haryana?
So there are different unions protesting, and we are not among the groups that are at the border. But having said that, we do agree with their demands. And one has to also understand that this has been an extremely long-standing demand that politicians have kept promising time and again, and it has not been fulfilled. So therefore, that farmers are frustrated, I think, is very understandable.
Yes, farmers may be frustrated. I'm not denying that. I'll come to the demand part of the MSP. But Nachiket, you know, the public is deserving of a better rationale than this, that you're frustrated and therefore you're doing this. You know, like the courts have also said in the past when the farm law agitation happened and currently, there is a manner of protesting. Now, how feasible is it that you bring hundreds of tractors? Forget about the fact that many of these machines are being modified, but you bring hundreds of tractors and do some sort of a march to the national capital. Now, why is it that the farmers need to do this? Why can't you present your demands or do a protest in a manner that is feasible for the national capital to take in?
This is not the first protest. There have been innumerable other protests. And like I said earlier, until and unless something like this happens, unfortunately, the government doesn't call the farmers to the negotiating table and there are no talks. So the government also doesn't respond until something of this sort is being done. And this is the sad state of affairs.
Sanjay Rana, you want to come in on this? Has the government also failed to kind of earn the farmers' trust and therefore they've been compelled to do this repeatedly?
Shivani, obviously I'm going to take it forward from the Nachiket ends. He's mentioned very categorically that it's 26 months back the committee has been formed, but the government has not invited farmers to do the discussion. But absolutely, I'm not agree with that, because government has formed 10 people, 10 member committee, out of which 3 must be from farmer side. But none of the farmer leader yet to be there. 3 seats are still vacant, number one. Number two, when you're talking about the procurement, and you need to understand what is the demand. If you look at the total number of farmers in India is approx 90 million. And if you look at the Punjab, contribute only 1%, which is coming in around 0.90%. Okay, this is number one. Number two, when we talk about the crop, 22, 23 crops, wheat and paddy is there. If you look at country-wise production, UP is the highest producer of wheat. Bengal is the highest producer of rice. In similar way, if you look at the Punjab is coming all the way in third. If you look at all the crops, take it anyone, Punjab's falling in 5th position. So your demand may be a genuine. You raise the demand for the MSP, but need to understand couple of facts which I am going to give it to you, and which is important for all the viewers as well as the farmer leaders to understand. If you look at the MSP procurement in 2014, it was 1,06,000. If you look at the current scenario, MSP procurement is 2.28 lakhs. So the huge difference is there. I'll give you the fertilizer subsidy as well. The number was 83,000. If you look at 2019, 2020, 83,000. Right now is 2,54,000 subsidy in fertilizer. So government is absolutely concerned about the farmers and they are ready to discuss. But the farmer need to understand they cannot hijack. You may have your right, you have all the right, but you cannot take the right of the common people of the
Yeah, it's also
Delhi.
about, I take forward your word, the word you used, hijack. It also seems, Nachiket, that Punjab farmers, who tend to do better than most other farmers in the country, have also hijacked what this whole farmers' cause is. Not many farmer unions, and we've spoken to some of them on the show, agree with these demands. They feel they are better, that they're barking up the wrong tree, for example.
No, I think a vast majority of the unions certainly do agree with the demands. There are maybe a handful of unions that are not demanding MSP, they don't want MSP, but an overwhelming majority of the farmer unions do want this demand. And it is not just Punjab and Haryana. There were even 2 years back a lot of protests even from Uttar Pradesh, and even this time around farmers who were coming by train from Karnataka have been arrested at MP. So there is popular support for this. The thing is, since these states are near Delhi, then they are the ones who come in larger numbers.
But you didn't answer my question sufficiently of why bring tractors. Then it is a tactic to kind of force, quote unquote, either the public to take notice or the government to take notice. Are you arm twisting everybody?
No, the reason for bringing tractors is even last time they were there for the long haul, and so they need supplies to wait for so long for the government to respond.
You don't need tractors for that.
No, you need to bring your rations, you need to cook your food, you need to sleep, you need shelter to sleep. So last time it was quite cold when they came and they used to sleep in the tractors.
Again, you don't need JCBs and tractors for that.
No, like I said, they were sleeping behind in the tractors even last time.
And what about these
JCBs
JCBs and other cranes and excavators that are being brought in?
See, like I said, there are different unions protesting. We are not the ones on the border right now. But from what I have heard, the latest was that the farmer leader said that they will be walking alone, is what I have last heard.
No, that's what they said. You're right about that. Farmer leaders have said that on record, but that's not the reality on the borders. So this is precisely what I'm saying. You know, there is one thing that is being, on one side, there are talks going on, but you're also then doing this. This is one-upmanship. On another side, the leaders say, we will march alone. We will not ask our youth or other farmers to come with us. So that can be manageable. You can get a spot in the national capital. You can do your dharna protest. But the reality on the ground is different. So it also presents a picture of chaos and the fact that not everybody is in agreement with what they're doing. You yourself have said different farmer unions are protesting in a different manner. Leaders are saying something, but people on the ground are doing another thing. Who's in control?
So like I said, there is a lot of frustration among farmers, but the leaders, I think, as of now, are showing responsibility and trying to ensure that the frustration doesn't lead to anything untoward. And so therefore, they are showing the leadership and taking the initiative of saying that they will go alone.
It's not happening on ground, though. In fact, we keep hearing, you know, these statements, etc., where they, at least the public on the ground, the protesters on the ground keep threatening to do this or that. Very quickly, Sanjay, then I go
Just I want to put forward one point, Shivani, which is important. If you look at the total procurement under the MSP, 6.23% totally, pan-India I'm talking about. And when we talk about the Punjab, it's almost 95 to 96% procurement happen only in MSP. So I fail to understand what do you mean by frustration, number one. Number two, obviously people may get frustrated. You and I can get frustrated, doesn't mean I have to go on the street and fight and just create a chaos for the rest of the guys. You may have a valid demand, but demand should be, supported by something. Take an example. People are asking about the pension. Why you need a pension? Why not? Shivani, you also need a pension. I also need a pension. If everyone, 140 crore people will come on the street and ask for the pension, then how will possible for the government to fulfill? Not possible for the any government or any party to fulfill the requirement of these people.
No, so